Hi, everybody. Welcome to Positive Impact Project with Ingrid. And today we are going to have on a wonderful guest to start off our season this year, 2021, with Debbie Divine, who is a wonderful, amazing spiritual guru, conscious catalyst, and she is going to be working with us a little bit today on some insights, telling us a little bit about her life, and hopefully if you have any questions for her, you can ask those and we will see what answers we can get for you. We are basically, Positive Impact Project is for spotlighting those who are working in the service of humanity, whether it is through music, through art, through expression of the divine into the world, manifesting all of that beautiful energy into the physical world and sharing their light with others, their passion, and following their heart, their dream to inspire others. That's what this project is really about, and I hope that you join us every time we have a new guest on and support them, and hopefully you'll learn something too. So thank you guys for joining us today. I really love having you guys come on and support. And of course, there's a lot of other videos with great people that have come on, and I would love you to check those out too. So welcome. It is 2021. We made it. I had no doubt we were going to get here, but here we are. And I do see this year, 2021, being an amazing year. It is a time for sowing new seeds. So I hope that you all are thinking about what you want for yourself this year, what kind of things that you are going to create. And this is a year to plant those seeds. It may be another year before you see the fruits of your labor, but it is a great time to make dream boards, to write lists, to journal, to find ways to really make a vision for yourself and figure out what it is that you really have in your heart, that longing that you have. Not things that you want, but things that you need that you can't ignore because it's your heart's desire, which is also letting you know it's your destiny and it's the universe, divine God wanting to express himself through you. So allow that energy to come out however it needs to. So I am really looking forward to a new year, a new season of great new ideas and sharing those with each other. So if you have some positive ideas, positive things that you want to share with us, you can always post them here on Positive Impact Project and share your links to something that you may enjoy, that you think the rest of us will enjoy. So put those on there and we will share them with everyone else. So we're going to have Debbie Divine on today. So thank you so much for coming and watching our show today and supporting us. We're going to talk to her about her life. Hi, Debbie.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you doing today?
Okay, because it might be a little bit weird because I have to jump on my phone. There is something going on with Facebook that for some reason I'm not getting that notification so I can join you.
Okay, well, so, maybe it's the phone. The phone might work better.
Yeah. Shouldn't be that difficult though.
Well, you're here. That's what matters. You're here. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, you're right on time. Fashionably late. So what we're going to do is start by asking you to share a little bit about who you are, what you're doing spiritually right now in your life, anything you want to share with us.
Well, let's see. I have been on this journey for a good 10 years, and it's been quite a journey. I'm really grateful for it. I started this when my life kind of just started to fall together. You know, we think when life is falling apart,
it falls into place.
Falling into place. About exactly 10 years ago this year. And I had a series of events. I got hit by a car. Then the following year, I actually left job, marriage, and religion all at the same time and just started on a roller coaster ride of awakening. And somewhere along the time frame of maybe 2013 is when I really got a whole bigger picture of what was happening to me. And I made this dedication, Ingrid, to just kind of dedicate my life to, being of service to others and jumping in 100% and being open to spirit. And over the years, it's just been opening and opening and opening and opening to the
I love
people.
that.
Now
I love that.
it just feels great that I can completely surrender, to whatever the will is. Of course, we know what the will is, and bring everything back to oneness, but
Right.
to surrender to that and allow that goal, that will, to do its work through me. So it's been a journey.
Yes. And I was thinking how, it takes the pressure on a coal to make the diamond. And we love the diamonds, but nobody likes coal. And I was thinking, it's so necessary. The whole process is necessary, no matter how ugly it is. And the process of us becoming who we're meant to be can be really heartbreaking and, a struggle, and there's suffering. But that's all the pressure that makes it more beautiful at the end. So
Yes.
my feeling is, if we can just learn to have gratitude while we're getting squeezed, and not just, oh, I love who I am now, but you know what I mean, if we can inspire others to notice every step of the way that it's all beautiful,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I feel like that's what a lot of us have gone through, and become teachers, because people need to hear that it's going to be okay. What they're going through, there is something that you are meant to do, and you can't always see it during that struggle. So
Yes.
what kind of advice would you give to someone who may be struggling right now, maybe going through something, maybe where you were at years ago?
Just stay focused and know that everything that you're going through is part of a much bigger, beautiful outcome. And while it is hard to just consider that what you're going through, you have to release all these things that are not you. And that's really, I feel, the most challenging part for a lot of people, because they don't understand, why am I going through all this pain and turmoil if I'm having this emergence of spirit? You have to release what is not you, that has been part of your life for so long. And I feel like if people can understand, that's why you're having maybe depression or going through some anxiety, and of course always seek medical attention, but you're releasing all that's not you, especially your thinking. And so it's kind of like, you, as a part of you that still wants to hold on to that because it's what you're familiar with, and then there's a part of you that really wants to open up to it. And so just don't give up, don't beat yourself down when you're feeling like you had a low period, or you kind of like go back into some old behavior. Just pick up the pace the next time and just keep moving forward, because it's almost like the more forward you move, there's this energy and power that starts to meet you, and at some point it just merges and it just takes you with it. So just don't beat yourself up and don't give up on your journey.
I love that. I love it. And it's great. I feel like it's great to find the support system as well, to get that encouragement, to be around the people that are who you want to be, so that you can rise to them, as opposed to continuously surrounding yourself with those that may keep you in that spot you don't want to be in. You go find that tribe, right? Go find those people that are going to help you get there, and encourage that wonderful person that's inside, that is in there and is just trying to crawl out.
And I also agree with that. And to add to that, I tell people too that you're trying, not only will you find people, but they will find you.
Yes.
As your energy starts to shift and you start to feel balanced and feel more of who you are, people are going to start showing up out of the blue to kind of help you get to the next stage.
Right.
And it's okay if you meet someone today and they help you through, stage B, but then there's someone who's going to help you through stage C, and so the person that got you to B might kind of fade out. It's all good. Celebrate. Celebrate their occurrence in your life and on your journey, because every single person you meet anyone that challenges you, anyone that cherishes you is an important part of your growth.
That is so important to hear. I think for everyone to hear. We tend to focus more, I think, in the media and even on Facebook, anywhere you see people focus more on the negative. I mean, you can post a bunch of things and then you post one thing about, something negative, and that will have like 1,000 comments. Like everybody will want to jump in on that dark bandwagon. And I find that when you put things that are, beautiful and simple, you have a lot less people focusing on that. I think that the more we feed into that, the more we give our attention and energy to those negative things, especially in the media. Watching the news tells the news we like this stuff, and all the bad things that are happening, it goes, well, everybody wants to see this. So keep doing it. So I feel like this positive impact project and people like you, I feel like it's so important that we start shifting our focus to the good side of humanity, to rise everyone up to that level, so that everybody understands we're all capable of this, being at a place where we can actually, it's not boring, right? It's not boring being spiritual. It's just as exciting, actually, than the negative things. So I feel like it's really important that we help others see that in themselves, I guess is what I'm saying. Well, what do you feel for 2021? What do you feel is coming up for us this year?
Wow. Well, I see two different things going on, right? I see the people like yourself and myself and other people who have been on this path for a really long time, knowing that there was something coming, and feel like this is our call to really kind of step into that space. And I know I've been hesitant for many years because I didn't feel like I was ready, but I know 2020 kind of like shoved me, and it was like spirit just said, okay, it's time to start talking. Okay. So it's like those people are really feeling comfortable and secure about stepping into that space and knowing that whatever is going to be expressed is coming from a much higher place to help the other group of people that literally woke up last year. I mean, I could see it, I could feel it in my bones. People were just like, what is going on? And it's like, there is something going on. And now it's kind of like, oh, we know something is going on, but really, what is it? And it's our opportunity for Spirit to use us to really help people that are coming into their awareness of their truth to feel comfortable and to embrace it, and to know that this is actually what will assist them in living without a lot of fear and anxiety. That deepening of the connection to what is causing your life. And people call that God, higher power. Some people have a religious thing about that, or they're not really understanding what it really means to live in your truth. It's to live in the reflection of what has brought you to this moment that gives you breath. So it's like I'm seeing those people coming more into their awareness of, whoa, if I really change my thinking, it can affect my words and my actions and how things happen in the world. Things that you've not been posting for a real long time, and they may have been looking at us like, oh yeah, whatever, positive people. Yeah. Right. Well, now I think people are going to really understand that kind of beingness does have a purpose, and it is real. So I see a lot of people stepping into their truth, stepping more into our truth, and them stepping into their truth.
I agree with you. I like how you put it, and I do feel like there was a huge awakening, definitely. And I don't know the name of it, but it's when you get a spiritual boot to the head. And I feel like that's what 2020 was.
A 2x4.
Yeah, everybody got a little boot, and some of us decided to step out. Some of us said, I'm good, I'm done, and took off. And the rest of us were like, I volunteer as tribute. Let me do this thing. I'm going to do it. But it's definitely shook things up, and I love that. I always love a good shake up or shakedown.
Mm-hmm.
Stir it up, I say.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I mean, I feel like I'm more in the observational mode, or observatory mode these days, where I'm really just kind of watching what's happening and what's unfolding. But that doesn't mean that I'm inactive. It's like
Yeah.
I'm consciously still holding this space of truth for people. We all are, because it's like until people are ready to hear the information, there's still going to be difficulties understanding. So it's more of us exhibiting, I think, this light and this truth about who we are, and just letting that do the work for itself. Just let spirit just kind of like emerge for people, and let them just see. It's like, why aren't you stressed out? Why aren't you worried about what's happening? I don't know. Just a different viewpoint. I'm looking at things from seeing a different vision.
And one thing that I've learned about fear is that the best thing you can do is, when you do have a fear, is take it to its conclusion. So basically write it out in your mind, you know, well, if I do this, this will happen, then this will happen. What is the worst thing you can think of? And when you get to the end of all that, kind of end up at the same place, and it's not so bad. What,
Yeah.
you're back with God. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is to imagine all of it so that you play it out and it's done. It's like you did it, because your mind is so powerful. And the things that we even they found, when people watch a movie and see those events, their brain reacts the same way as if that thing was really happening in front of them. Our brain can't really differentiate those things, and that's why visualization is so powerful, guided meditation, because we are just going through our brain and saying these things are happening, and it's like, okay, so why not put the things you want in there, and
Right.
show yourself the things that you really should see. But I guess what I'm saying is, you go ahead and die over and over again. You do that a few times, you're not afraid anymore. So instead of resisting that, when you have a fear, resisting those, whatever it is, it's best to just go ahead and do it. Just in your mind, just go ahead and do it and get it over with and move on.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think fear itself is worse. Fear itself is much worse than the actual thing.
Oh, but it's hard to kind of wrap your mind around that if that's all you know.
Yeah.
If that's the only emotion you pull from, and then you retreat out of it, when things kind of sort of smooth down, and then it's like it happens again. So it's like, I know I went through that. I mean, I went through this up and down situation in my life many times, and I just, after a while, I just couldn't do it anymore. It was so exhausting. And I just, like I said, had to make a decision about, okay, something has to give. I think, people come to that space different times in their lives. Whenever I think the soul is ready to move, it gets tired of the things it just can't contain anymore. Because it's like, do or die. That's
Right.
where I was.
And I do find that giving up is the best solution. We have, for so long, we've been pushed, that idea has been rammed down our throat, and you go. You just keep going if you want something. And the fact is, first of all, if it's meant to be, it will happen. And secondly, I find that every time we really want something, the moment we give up on it's when it happens. So, it's best to just be the observer. It's best to just allow things to, the road to rise up to you, and not try so hard. Because I feel like if you're trying hard, you're swimming upstream, and the ebb and flow of the universe, the God is the river. And when we try, we're going against the current. But if it's easy, we're floating, we're going with our divine purpose. So I feel like when they say the easy road, yes, the easy road is the right road. It should feel good. It should feel right. And it shouldn't be hard, because it just means that you're resisting something.
I agree
So
with you, totally.
Where are you going with all this, besides writing a book? Because we know you need to do that.
The thing about writing the book is that I don't like to type. And I know you told me, so we can dictate it. I said, yes, I can, but I still have to sit down and do that. And it's like, it's just sitting down. I think if it's something that's going to happen, it's going to happen when Spirit says, okay, now you have to write the book.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely do have information, tons and tons
Yeah.
of journal information that whenever it's time to just say, okay, there's your book, put it together. You know, I feel like the guidance I'm getting now is to start teaching
Mm-hmm.
what I've learned or what's showing up for me. I'm a student of the Course in Miracles, and I really, really love the concept of what that voice is telling
Mm-hmm.
us, and it's beautiful work. So it's almost like it's time to start giving back some of the information. I had 10 years of honestly guided awakening. I had specific things that I was taught and shown how to do. So it's kind of like, okay, so you can help somebody with this aspect. You know, it could be um, what happens when Kundalini starts to erupt, because that's what's going to start happening to some people, and it's going to be very strange for them. Also, you know, why do we have out of body experiences? These were things that I literally had a being, spirit being, angel, that was like, okay, this is how you do this, and this is why. So all of that, I feel like, is coming up for expression and to share. As far as the book is probably going to show up when it's going to show up. I still keep writing, and I just keep putting it to the side. I have dictated a few things, though.
Great.
So, yeah. So it's definitely unfolding, and I'm just allowing Spirit to do the work. I literally get out of the way. I don't want my ego, as quiet as it has become, I still don't want it to interfere with what's trying to come through. Yeah. And I can definitely feel the difference.
I was just telling my oldest about how we're all like going through life like we're in a car, and Spirit has the wheel, and we're sitting here and we just grab it and we start like, no, I want to go this way, and they're screaming, and like, I'm just saying, we try so hard to get things to be our way, and that's where all the suffering happens. That's where all the problems happen. If we just sit and relax and enjoy the scenery and just go where we're supposed to go, it'd be so much easier. Just, it's like a 5-year-old trying to drive. We don't know better than that greater spirit, and that's even our higher selves. You know, when we listen to our own inner voice, that's our higher that knows what's going on. So it is funny to me when we do try to control things, obviously, that aren't meant to be controlled.
Yeah, and I've been there. I mean, I've been there, because I remember, you know, when I first started to wake up, it was like, oh my goodness, all this is happening, and I just need to share this with people, because there's nobody that looked like me, first of all. So I was just kind of like, that's how Viva Divine kind of unfolded, because there was no one that looked like me, and I wanted to make sure that I thought at the time I should be doing this stuff and the website and all these different things. And I was actually pursuing a coaching certificate, and I got right up to enrollment. And I remember the day that I was sitting there talking to the lady on the phone, and just something said, this doesn't feel right. I don't know why. I've been working towards this, but here I am about to make this step, and it doesn't feel right. And that's when I actually pulled back, and I just said, you know what? I'm just going to stop, and I'm just going to wait. And it seemed as if I went into a state of beingness when I just got out of that mindset. And then even last year, you know I can speak for everybody. For 2019, I was like, okay, 2020 is going to be the big year, and I know what I'm doing. I'm getting into this, and well, 2020 just showed us all that you really can't make any plans. And so it's kind of like, it was a big lesson. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like, no, you're not running the show. You think you're running the show, but no, something much higher is running the show. Yeah. So I have just kind of like said, look, whatever you want, Spirit, you just tell me where to go, what to do, what to say, and I'm out of the way.
It was very humbling. That's it. Yeah, very humbling.
And that sign, when I do that, Ingrid, people show up. And when they show up instantly, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to say something to this person, and I know what to say, or I'm supposed to be for someone right now. And that's all. But I always notice that whenever I put that out first, whatever spirit needs to do to reach somebody else through me always happens. So I just kind of like, I stay out of my own way.
And that's, I do have an article about that on my, I think it's on my website, about being an oracle. And the oracle is a little different. Sorry, I'm plugging in my phone real quick. Battery is gonna die. But that there's a difference between like a psychic and an oracle, though you can be both. You know, psychic is about like purposely doing that, purposely channeling, and the oracle is someone who does it naturally. And there's a lot of people that are oracles out there, maybe don't realize it, but it's like you basically are with a friend talking and they're telling you things, and all of a sudden you just start spouting off all this incredible information, and you're even like, wow, I'm pretty smart.
Where's that coming from?
It happens to me all the time. Like, wow, I think I just learned something, because of course I needed to hear it too. And I call that more the oracle, because I feel like it's just it coming down and just using your mouth, you know. But I find that, and teaching too, I find that I learn so much great information when I just do it myself, you know, when I teach or when I write, even when I'm just, if I'm journaling. It's like all that stuff comes through and bypasses my ego, bypasses my brain. I can't edit it. It just comes out. I do find like it's much more efficient that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I write a lot. And I notice when I write a lot, I get a lot of clarity and definite information. I've made some deals with the universe over the years. There's certain things I said, okay, no channeling, no being with a different name, channeling through me. I only connect directly to source and nothing in between, prime creator, and that's it. Because, you know, there's a lot of information in between. And especially if people are coming to you because they just can't hear right now. I don't want to get anything muddled. So I always anchor in deeply to source, you know, because I want to make sure I'm getting firsthand communication. And sometimes it's not even, it's just being. Yeah. Not even saying anything, just being.
And like sometimes I'll talk to a spirit guide for someone, and spirit guides they were human at some point. They were with them in a lifetime, and those guys have sass. They were people. They're just people. And so I get very different perspectives from them. They will be like, this person, that great term, you're a hot mess. Like, he's a hot mess. Like, you should tell him that. I tell him I said that. No, but they'll literally say things like that to me. And of course the person will laugh like, oh God, yeah, he's right. But they'll tell me this stuff, but it's that's a whole different perspective than if I'm, just channeling spirit and asking for messages, guidance for them.
Right.
But, it depends on what kind of questions we're asking, but it is important to know who you're talking to and what you're using that information for, to have ethical readings. Definitely. But I do find that source is definitely the most reliable source for pure and beautiful information.
Yeah, I have had people's guides. They will show up, and you can tell the difference. You can tell that they're specifically there, and they do talk like that. They do say, like, they'll say words that I would never use. That the person, like you were saying, that the person completely understands, or the message, the way it's conveyed, or even just like sometimes straight up curse words. Like, I would never say these things to this person. I'm like, well, your guys are just saying this. And you will probably get the message because of the way it's being conveyed. Yeah.
And it can be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm losing my words. Teaching psychic development, I want to lay the foundation when we do that. And the most important thing, besides, grounding and making sure that you are very centered in yourself and know who you are, and know who's around you and helping you. But the next most important thing is always knowing who you're talking to when you do reach out, because there are entities out there that are mischievous, you know, and they'd love to come in and chat with you about whatever they want to
Yeah.
do. But yeah, it's
Right.
important to always have psychic protection, or like, you know, take care of yourself when you're doing that. Just like what most people don't realize, it's just like in the physical world, you wouldn't just let a stranger walk through your door like, oh, come on in and have fun. Like, you know, you want to make sure you have a safe space, and that you only invite in those that you trust. So
Right.
yeah, and it's really not that different in the spirit world. And some of those guys, you know, act like they can get away with stuff, and I get mad, and I'm like, no. When I have a client that's like talking about getting harassed by stuff, and I'm like, no, you don't have to let them do that. You know, you have to have boundaries in the spirit world, just like you do in the physical world. It's just, there's a veil, but it's not that different. Anyway, I could go on a tangent about this, but I'm not going to. I just want people to have boundaries.
Yeah. Well, I think honestly, the physical world is where we learn that. And I tell you why, because this is my experience. I had to learn about boundaries and really making sure that I was not letting anyone infringe on my power or take my power away from me, or me surrender it, right? In the physical world, because in the spiritual world, you're going to have that same interaction as you start to like your consciousness starts to open up, and you become more aware of things, and they become aware of you.
Right.
Because you're shifting energy into their space, right? And so if you don't have good boundary settings, behavior in the physical world, you're going to be, you know, kind of interacting with some pretty intense spirits that are going to be like poking you in the eye, like, what are you doing here? You know, or, hey, you're pretty cool. I want what you have. And I know I can't take it from you, but I'm going to figure out a way to trick you into giving it to me. So it's almost like you got to learn those things in the physical world, because when you start to lighten up, you're going to have those interactions, because you're still a spiritual being. You're just in a physical body,
right?
But your spirit's going to start interacting more in that space. So that's one thing I had to like develop weapons of my own destruction to like beat spirits. Like, no, this is my ground. This is my space, spiritual space. You don't get to come in here and invade it, or no, pay attention, because this group of people in spirit form want my energy, you know, and not giving it up because I was afraid. I mean, there's so many things that you got to master here,
right?
Because you're going to cross them in that spiritual realm.
And for me, as an empath, and mainly people that do this work are usually empaths, but empaths are, that is one of their main challenges is boundaries. But it's also why they can do it, is because usually at a young age, I have this in my book, but it's at a young age, usually an empath is made from childhood abuse and trauma, and it can happen at an adult time where you have just a trauma that does it. But basically, you're created, and you learn very quickly how to leave your body, or how to be aware of everybody and everything that's always going on for survival, things like that. But it's like you develop knowing that you don't have any boundaries, or that others are going to walk over them, but you learn how to be psychic. So then you have to kind of backtrack as you get older and develop the boundaries, but now you have this great gift. And so my life's work is about showing everybody, look at this great gift, instead of being a victim and, you know, feeling like, why me? And going, yeah, you're amazing, and you're here to like teach and lead the new world. So let's do this. Let's heal and move on and get those boundaries.
It is such a cool gift.
It is.
It is such a cool gift, you know, to be able to feel things, and to be able to use that gift to not only protect yourself, but also help others to see the truth behind things. You know, when someone says, oh, I'm really fine, and you're just like, no, because I can feel in my body your truth, because we're not separate, really. It's just an illusion that we're me and you, because, you know, that whole oneness thing is real. It's very real. So I didn't know what an empath was until like maybe, of course, 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, that's what that sensitivity is. You know, that's that ability that I'm always kind of cocking my head to the side, saying to myself, you know, I'm seeing one thing, but I'm feeling another. And this is very confusing. But then now understanding that that is a super huge asset to have, and
Yeah.
to trust what I'm feeling on the inside.
It is. And it's like once you realize, holy crap, I'm really powerful, then it's all, you know, roses after that. It takes a while to get there. Real quick, Lorena, um, will this be on YouTube later? Yes, I will be posting this up on YouTube. And Debbie, of course, it's up to you if you have YouTube. Right? Yes.
Yes, I will share.
Okay, but this will be on, I know we're on live right now, but this will be remaining on here on Positive Impact Project on Facebook, so you can watch it later too. Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you. If you do have any questions, just go ahead and type them in for Debbie, or about the show, whatever you guys want to know, and we'll see if we can answer those for you. So I do have one more question for you, and that is kind of in the future, like what is it that you would like to see? And it doesn't have to be anything specific, but for our world, it could be for the United States or for the world, but what would you like to see?
Okay, so I've seen it. I would love to live long enough to actually visually see it. It is a very, very beautiful, beautiful place. It is intensely peaceful, and there's enough for everyone, every single person. But it is oh my gosh. I visualize this. I've held this vision in my meditations, and it's a space where we finally have healed. People have healed collectively and understood how important it was. So it's almost like I'm going backwards and I'm seeing the end result. But how we got there was because we individually understood the importance of the personal healing and not looking out at the other person. Because I think the biggest thing that is challenging for people is the fact that we're not really separated.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of the things that maybe I would like to teach people, that when you see somebody else, that's really you. And the more you look at the person, you begin to realize that is you. So once we start focusing on our own individual healing, it creates that catalyst, right?
Right.
For other people. And so what I see for the world, it may very well be a long range vision, but my eyes focused on that. And it's just a really amazing and beautiful place. It's so beautiful. It's beautiful.
And, you know, I've seen it too. And I'm sure many of us who are, you know, intuitive or in tuned, I think we all see that. And that's why we have the dedication that we do. You know, that we know that we are working towards something that is a winning game. You know, it's going to work.
Yeah. I feel like it's already done. And we're just going through the motions of getting there. But I feel like it's already been achieved. Right? But we got to do the steps to kind of like see the end result.
And
which makes it exciting.
As far as time goes, people talk about it in a linear fashion. And I like the term, it's not timey-wimey, but it's more swirly-whirly. And that's like, it's all just spinning around in a single vibration, right? All at once. And that, for people who are intuitive, it's real easy for us to access anything, anywhere, any point, because it's all in one spot. It's all right now. So it's really not that difficult to, you know things if you really focus on that. But I do feel like when you relax into that floating space of oneness and divine connection, and you feel all of that, and all of it is just beauty, and you want to open your eyes and you want to see that around you. But that's how we do that. We pull it, we manifest it here onto the earth, because we have that vision. So we are making it happen at the same
Right,
time.
right,
All right.
right.
Well, is
I'm
there anything
excited,
else
like I
you
said
want?
before.
Is there anything else you want to share with our audience or about yourself?
Just something I've been doing intentionally recently, and I'm about to run out of gas on my phone, like you were doing earlier. Is I have been really focused lately on now, and I've known about being in the now moment, but for some reason I just got this like really interesting revelation and meditation about the past doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we just talked about 2 minutes ago, that's in the past. That's how fast it happens. And so I've really been focused on the now moments, like really, really feeling the sensation of being present. And I can tell you that it just, for me, I kind of feel everything. Everything that's amazing and beautiful within the moment that I'm just breathing, or I'm talking to you, or I'm driving in the car, and I'm driving in the car, and there's a red car in front of me. Oh, that's all I'm doing. I'm not thinking about what happened 2 minutes ago, or 5 minutes, or an hour ago. I'm not trying to think in the future either. I'm just sitting here. And boy, I can tell you, if we could just kind of like help each other hold that now moment, just kind of like, just stay now, just stay with me in the present. I think a lot of things would just kind of like start to fall apart. Because that's the only thing that's really true is this moment,
Right.
and then it's gone.
And for me,
so
it's easy because I have a bad memory. I can't remember 2 minutes ago, so it's great. My life's great. Always in the moment.
Always in the moment. Yeah, it's so beautiful. It was just like, why was I not like practicing this intentionally all this time? Because now it's like I can
love it,
and the moments just stretch. They just start stretching, and it's like then you can feel like those moments of infinity. Like, ooh, I felt that. Like, wow,
I love that.
Let's do that again. Yeah, moments of now.
That's where you can become the observer. Where you have non-attachment, where you're not so involved. You just feel everything, and it's so peaceful.
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And we worked out how to do this. So
yes,
thank you so much.
And I've learned so much today. Thank you, Ingrid.
Yeah, me too. I think you have to be on your cell phone to make this work. So now I know that.
Yes.
I did not know that before. But thank you.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And again, if you have questions after the fact, you can always put your comments in here and we will get back to you. Thank you all, and I will see you in the other verse, in the ether.
Bye, everybody.
All right, bye, everybody.